Hello and welcome to the basic guide to DJing for beginners. We'll be looking at determining your goals as a DJ. We'll be looking at DJ software and equipment needed. We'll be looking at basic DJ skills, DJing hardware, and last but not least, recording a mix. First, let's talk about determining your goals. What is it that you want from DJing? Is it that you want to become a DJing superstar? Do you want to become a local DJ in your area, play in your local town? Or is it you just want to become a party DJ, an events DJ, where you go and play weddings, funerals, your friends' house parties? Or is it just you just like to play music or DJ at home? It's always good to determine what your goals is as a DJ, because DJ equipment can become expensive and very time consuming. Unless you have a great love into DJing, that can determine how much you're going to spend on it with time and expense. So it's always great to understand what your goals are before you start to get into your DJing career. What equipment do you need to start DJing? Well, you're going to need obviously a DJ controller, some headphones, spare speakers or a speaker I've seen, USB hard drives and the little pen USBs, and a laptop or a PC, and you're good to go. Let's talk about buying music. So you can buy music from iTunes, Amazon Music, but there's also places like TrackSource where you can buy electronic music, hip-hop music, R&B music, places like Beatport. Beatport is really dedicated to electronic music, so you would find many different subgenres of electronic music where you could buy from in Beatport. Also, there's Juno. In Juno, I like Juno because you can also some producers will sell vinyl music as well, so you can also buy vinyl and DJ equipment from Juno. So it's a handy website to look at. But if I'm looking to find new music from like up and coming DJs and stuff like that, I would use a thing called Bandcamp, a site called Bandcamp, where many independent artists will upload their music and you can buy it for a certain price, or you can set your own price, or sometimes it's free. So have a look at that. And many of these producers are unknown, so it's like you are actually helping their career by supporting them. So I like to look at Bandcamp for new music, new up and coming music. And also you can't actually buy music from the site, but SoundCloud, independent artists put music up on SoundCloud, and you can basically, when their tracks are there, if they put it out for distribution on iTunes or any other distribution site, they will have a link underneath the track, so you can always click on the link to the track and buy the track. But it's a good way to find new music, SoundCloud. So and Bandcamp for all new music as well, from up and coming producers, independent artists. But you can still see the same on TrackSource and Beatport, but some producers, some up and comers, just like to distribute music on their own platform, and Bandcamp gives them that ability to do that, where they can basically just sell their own music on Bandcamp, nowhere else. So yeah, it's a good way to find exclusive stuff. So take a look at that. Let's take a deeper look into what controller, as a beginner, would I advise you to get. I would always, to begin with, get something cheap and cheerful. You can find cheap DJ controllers online, on eBay, CEX. If you're on the street, look for a CEX shop. They usually have a lot of old refurbished and used DJ controllers. Because just remember, this is just to practice on. Depending where you want to go with your DJing, it could just last you for 6 months, depending, and you could just move on to a better controller. But price range is what I would really spend. This Newmark Mixtrack Pro 2, I'm looking online right now, and it's £72 in CEX. So and you're bound to find somewhere cheaper, next one cheaper on Gumtree or eBay. So have a look round and see. Why I like the Newmark Mixtrap Pros is because they also connect well with DJ softwares like Serato, which is a free DJ software, which you could just download to your PC and your laptop or your Mac laptop and hook it into the DJ Newmark Mixtrap Pro with no problems and play away. So that's why I like Newmark Mixtrap Pros. But as I say, this is just my starter one. I have different, so I use Record Box for my more professional, when I'm trying to practice for my club sets. So yeah, but anyway, this video is aimed at beginners, people who want to get into DJing. So I'm assuming that you haven't got no gear, or you've just been given some gear and you just want to get into DJing. So yeah, have a look at something cheap and friendly like a Newmark Mixtrap Pro, but I would say, just my advice, buy a controller which either comes with software like Serato, or look on the Serato DJ website and see what controllers connect to them, and then go from there. Because you're bound to find ones what are probably cheaper than the Newmark Mixtrap 2. I know the Newmark Mixtrap Pro, the one before this, actually still works with Serato, so you could buy that one, and if this one's £72, the older one must be cheaper. So have a look and fish around. And you might need to buy from Amazon a few jacks. Can you see them here? Yeah, a few headphone jacks. They're cheap as well online on the Amazon. So you could buy, I don't know, a bag of 10 or a bag of 7 for about less than tenner. So yeah, even cheaper than that. So yeah, have a look at them as well, just in case you get your headphones and it's got an end like that. You see, so it needs to be a bit thicker to go into, to be inputted into the Mixtrap Pro. So you're gonna need to get a jack. Sorry, and slide it in there. Then, because once you purchase your mix jack, it should come with this USB connection into the PC. So you're right for that. But then you may need to pick up what they called again, 2 RCA phono plugs to stereo jack cables as well, which are these 2 blue, white and red wires, and they install into your speakers. So USB goes into your laptop or your PC. RCAs, one goes into the left speaker, one goes into the right speaker. Good to go, you're hooked up with sound, your headphones are plugged in. Next thing you need to do is load up your Serato or whichever DJ software you're using. Hopefully it's all connected up well. Whenever you whenever you turn on Serato with the Mixtrap Pro, these lights always turn up. So then you know that, yeah, everything's fully connected. Then you're good to go. So let's start talking about DJing software. As I say, this is a basic guide for beginners to DJ. So I would always recommend Serato DJ. So if you go on Google, type in Serato, that's Serato DJ, and it should come up in Google, the top one, the world's best DJ software, Serato DJ. I think you can get it for free. Yeah, you can get the DJ Lite for free. It's got everything you need to learn how to DJ. And you can get the DJ Pro also, but you might have to pay. I don't know if there's a small fee, but do check. Serato is never too much money, you see. So, but you can get the free one anyway. It just doesn't allow you to record. But for a beginner at the basic level, all you needed to do is play. Do you see? And it's got anything here you need to play on it. So I'll download the free one, and look, the pro one's only with £9 a month. It's £9 a month. So if you are going to take it serious, DJing serious, either have a look at, you know, spending £9 a month on subscription, or you could also have a look at Record Box. That's a good one. That's another one I recommend, Record Box. And it's a fee, but it's also a great DJ software. So once you've got your controller and you're ready to go to the Serato webpage and download your Serato. Okay. And again, as you can see, the Newmark Mixtrack Pros, they're going for £72 CEX. eBay, there's a used one for £69.99. So have a look around, shop around, man, and you'll be able to find some, you know, decent prices out there for a DJ controller. Now let's take a deeper look into Serato DJ software. Once you have downloaded the free software onto your laptop or your PC, it should look very similar to the screen in front of you. To find your music files, click on Files, search for your USB stick, search for your files. As you can see, here's my ones. Alright, let's find a song. And then we're going to click on the track we want on your DJ controller. Well, we've got both decks free, so we can choose either deck. So I'm going to choose deck A. The song should load up. As you can see, it's on deck A. Press B for it to load onto deck B. It's as simple as that. And you have on your DJ controller, you have a browse knob, which you can click. Press. You got a back button on your DJ controller to press back. You see, to go through any other files you want to find music in. So it's quite simple to use to find your tracks on there. At the top you can see effects, so you can click on effects. You can actually change each effect on the DJ controller here. Just click down, you can change it to delays, distortion, reverbs, bit crushes. But you could do this to either, you have 3 effects knobs on your DJ controller, so you can effectively change either 3 throughout when you're doing your mixes, which is quite handy. Also, you have a record button, so when you're ready to record your mixes, you can change the whole look of how you're viewing your software. So you have horizontal, extended, which was just on. You can stack it, which looks a bit like that. I could not have it like that myself. It just looks all over the place, but whichever suits you really, and you can have it on library. It basically just shows you libraries. But I like it on extended because I'm used to it. You can see the waveforms. These lines here, I just played the song quietly. These are called waveforms, you see. And as you can see, the larger waveforms usually are the kicks. But I want to show you up here as well. It actually shows you the waveform. Once the track's already all loaded up onto the software, it gives you the whole waveform of the whole song, so you can see where parts of the song and arrangement changes in the song, which will help you when you're bringing in another song. Do you see? So, because you know, in songs sometimes the beat would drop out and it will come back in after, say, 8 bars or 16 bars. But with timing, you can see with these DJ softwares the actual waveform. And once you understand waveforms, your timing will get much better to bring in your mixes. So yeah, so that's another good thing about Serato. But all the other softwares do the same thing. So not just Serato. What else? Well, that's it really. If you have any problems with the software, click on Setup, and you have your DJ preferences, which got your control preferences, your on-song load preferences, vertical DJ deck speed. I never really touched these, to say the truth. I've had Serato for years, for say, I said 4 or 5 years, and I've never ever touched any of these. So unless you get major problems, there are a lot of Serato instructional videos on YouTube, so have a look at those. But to tell you the truth, I haven't even changed any of this myself. But if you do get any problems in the future, check on YouTube, Serato DJ instructions, and it should help you. But yeah, that is the basics in Serato, really. So it's quite simple to get started, you see. So the main thing is that you've got your songs on your USB or on your PC already. You know where the files, how to find your files. Just click on files, you know, and you can find them from there. Find your USB stick, and all your songs should be there, ready to go. So that's Serato DJ. Okay, now, so you're hooked up and you're ready to go. Your Serato's loaded, and you're looking at your DJ controller and you're thinking, what are all these knobs? What are all these things in front of my face? So right, let me explain. The first thing, the first important thing, I think, because you're going to need to load your songs up in order to mix in it. You can't mix silence. So this is the browser knob. This is basically your search tool to find your songs, whichever library they're in. You know, if you want to go back and forward throughout different folders, this is the knob you're going to use. You press it down to go backwards, and then you search through, and then, you know, you press it down again to go forward. So it's quite easy, you know. It's search tool, basic browser knob. So this is the knob you're going to need to know to find the tunes, called the browser knob. Anyway, then once you found the tune, you're going to have to load the tune. Now in Serato, you've always got, well, not just in Serato, all the DJ softwares, you've always got an A and a B side. A side for the left controller, for the left jog wheel, so that's all it, for the left jog wheel, to play the song loaded on, to want to load a song onto this jog wheel, to the left controller, you press load A. To load it onto the right jog wheel, you press load B. You see, once you found the songs using the browser knob through your software, then we're gonna go on to, right, let's go to the shift button. The shift button. Right, the shift button allows you just multiple control commands to be triggered once pressed down, basically. So it's a bit of an advanced tool, so I would not be showing you in this video because it's quite an advanced DJ effects to use, basically. Because once you press hold shift down, and you can loop in different samples and effects and multiple samples at once just using this button. So it's an advanced tool, but I have to let you know what it is so you know what you're looking at. Then obviously you got your play and pause button. Play the song, pause the song. And then you have your Q button. Q button, this is basically I'll be showing you more about the Q button later on when we get into DJing. So basically what I use it for is if I want to find the start of the track, I find the start of the track, press the Q button, and I know now that whenever I want to, if they say reload the track, I press the Q button, it goes straight from where I have wanted it to start beforehand. Do you see? Okay, and now we're gonna go on to the jog wheels itself, actually. The jog wheels, well, basically, they are what the record's on. So once you play them, you can slow down the track. You know, every jog wheel is different and they maneuver differently. But these basic controllers, they're quite light, they're quite flimsy. Do you see? With the jog wheel like this, setting like this, it's quite, for myself, I think it's a bit more difficult to control. It doesn't behave in the way how you want it to. it kind of does its own thing. But once you press the scratch button, it kind of turns it into like a record deck. So you can scratch and much more faster, and it sounds a lot more easier to the ear. So that's the best way to explain the jog wheels, you know. I don't know if any of you had any experience on any sort of record player, even just playing your granddad's record player or your uncle's old 1210s. See, when he was younger, it's basically like that. You can do the scratching and the, you know, the reloads and stuff. It moves, it behaves exactly how you want it. You see, naturally, it's not too robotic, you know, and stagnant. But anyway, we're going to be learning more about the jog wheels later on when we're getting into basic techniques, DJing techniques. All right, and then we're going to go into the pitch faders. Basically, this controls the tempo. You have one on either side, either deck. So these are what's going to help you to mix. So you need to, these are the next most important thing to learn is the pitch faders, because it changes the tempo of the song. So when you wanted to mix into another song and say the song's at a faster tempo than the song that you want to play, you use these pitch faders to speed it up. If the other song's going slower, you slow it down. Do you see? But it's actually a technique to learn. You know, this is where the mixing comes in. Did here and here, and then as I go on here, everywhere basically. But you know, these are the most important, because if you don't know your timings, you don't know how to manage your jog wheel right, then your foundation will be quite, you know. So it's good to learn jog wheel and tempo. You know, managing the jog wheels and the tempos. Okay, next we'll go into pitch bend. Pitch bend, well, basically, when you're playing a track, I'd never use these buttons, to tell you the truth. It's not really if I'm going to slow down anything, I'm just going to slow it down like this. I don't want to use that to go, so I don't really touch these, but they're pitch bend, so you could, you know, change ranges as well of keys of songs and stuff on these ones. But I don't use it, so, but it's pitch bending. So I'll show you the effect when we're getting more into the basic skills, but it's not going to be a skill I'll be actually teaching you to use, because I don't know any DJs that actually use these. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, I don't. Anyway, and then we've got the mighty sync button, which in the DJing world, you know, a lot of DJ professionals hate this button. You know, this is the devil's button. The devil created this button. But yeah, it's basically, it sets the timing so you don't have to touch these. You know, you don't have to control the speed or whatever. It will just sync whatever's playing and whatever's coming in at the same tempo, basically. So if deck B is playing at 126 BPM and I put this track on and its original speed is 123 BPM, that is a wild BPM, I don't even know why I said 123, but anyway, you run with it, and I press the sync button, it's going to go straight to 126 BPM. You see, and basically sync the mix, you know, so you don't have to touch any of these. It's a quicker and easier way to mix, you know, and to get the timings in speed, but a lot of DJs frown upon it. They say that if you're going to DJ, you should learn how to mix properly. You see. Okay, and then next we've got the effect controls. So basically, you have like delays and echo. So you might have an echo on this effect control, and you might have a reverb on this effect control. Yeah, so basically you can load new effects in these pads here, because you already have 3 effects already loaded in them, and once you pressed either effect, these control the amount of the effect you apply to the song. Do you see? So if you're going to put on reverb, it controls the intensity of the reverb you're putting in, basically, and the same with the delays and whatsoever. You see? So they're more of an advanced tool to use. I am going to show you simple methods on how to use them. You see, but it can get a bit technical when you're getting into more advanced DJing methods, you know. But yeah, for the basic, I will be teaching you the simple way of how to use these. And then let's go to what else have I gone to? I've covered the pads, volume controls. Say these are looping pads, so you can create loops. So with whatever song's playing, you can create like a kind of a loop effect, a loop in and loop out effect. You can extend your loop with this pad, with the reloop pad, but also with these, as I said, it's an advanced kind of DJing because you use the shift and you have to loop in with. It's a lot when you're DJing, do you see? But it is actually quite a cool tricks to use. So I don't ever knock anybody off from learning them. But I will be doing another video for that. So good buttons to use. Anyway, next we're gonna go on to. Let's go on to the volumes. Okay, so now we have. Where we got? I've done the Q mixes first. The master gain. Oh right, let's do. This is the master gain. This controls the whole master coming out from the software. So basically this is what controls the whole volume that comes out the speakers. So if you got it up like that, it's loud as hell. Do you see? Keeps the rave pumping. If you turn it down, the rave has gone silent. You don't want that. So keep that up or whatever suitable level for the venue you're at that time. Also these are, this controls the volume for your left jog wheel, and the B side, this controls the volume for the B side. And then you have the famous crossfader. This controls the blend between the two decks. So if you got a song playing on this or on the B side jog wheel, and you want to go into your A side jog wheel, you take this knob and you slightly blend it in however you are. But this is how you change from either side. Okay, and then we got the headphone cues. So if I want to listen to what's in deck A, I press Q A on that side to listen to this deck, to the song on this deck, sorry. If I want to not listen to that song, I turn it off, press on the B side, Q, which cues me to listen to through my headphones, the song on the B side. If I want to listen to both songs at the same time and just mix through my headphones, I turn them both on. But again, it's not a tool I do myself, but I know a lot of people who do it. So, and it's basically you're listening, whatever's coming out the main speakers is in your headphones, so you're hearing the same thing everyone else who's listening to you, DJing, is listening to. Do you see? So anyway, and then to control them volumes in your headphones, so we have, what do we got here? Right, we got the Q gain. So that adjusts the volumes for the headphone, that the loudness in the headphones. No, sorry, in the software, coming out the software. So this controls the volume for the headphones from the software, from the volume coming from the software. And this Q mix adjusts the software's audio output to the headphones. See, and you can mix between the Q output and the master output with this Q mix knob. A lot of you would notice, well, a lot of you do know what these knobs are for. That's, because you've got these effects in your cars. So you've got the bass knob, you've got one either side for either jog wheel, for either song. So You can control the bass on jog wheel B with that knob, and then you've got the mid frequency control and the treble frequency control, and you've got this layout on the A side too. And I think that is it on the controller side. Oops, sorry, no, I missed that one thing. The stutter button. This button, once you press this button, it basically just jumps back to the last cue point, creating a stutter effect basically. Yeah, not a button I use really, so. But it's a button and it's there, and I know you're gonna wanna know what it is. So there you go. Right, everything's set up. You've picked your tunes, but what I want you to do for this guide, I want you to pick exactly the same tune. So I want you to put whatever song you've picked, I want you to load it. I want you to press load A, so the song loads on jog wheel A, and then I want you to press it again, so it loads on jog wheel B. So you've got exactly the same song on each deck. Reason for this, it's a good way to get the kind of mixing right to a T. Do you see? Because you can still clam and mix. Clamming the mix means when a song is out of mix with the same song. So it's all about getting, you know, a little bit of experience in blending a tune, getting your timing right. Do you see? So anyway, pick the same song, load it on A, jog wheel A and jog wheel B. Right. Once you got your song loaded, I want you to go to whatever deck you got playing first. At the moment, you can see I've got everything turned up and I'm playing in my house. So first thing I need to do is assess my environment, and I'm in my room, so I need to turn it down. On the master gain, I'm turning it down quite a bit actually. I'll turn it down to here to see. Anyway, right, I'm gonna turn down jog wheel B. I don't know why I'm calling it jog wheel B. I keep saying jog wheel because I was letting you know what this had been called, but it's called deck. We call it a deck. Yeah. So we turn down deck B because we don't want to hear that yet. My crossfader. Some people will keep it there. I like to mix my crossfader in the middle because I use each deck's volume control and EQs knobs here to blend in my mix when I'm mixing. So I'll show you that technique first. Anyway, so the first thing I do once I've loaded my tune on the deck, I find the start, lay in my cue point, so I know that's the start of the track, and then let's press play. Next thing I do, I'd look at the pitch fader, and as you can see, this is slow, this is fast, this is in between. Let's say it this. I always like to think in the middle is the tempo of the tune originally, which it is. So, and you know this because the light source flashing. So for this lesson, I'm gonna leave them in the middle. Anyway, let me show you what each knob does now. So you got the bass knob, takes out the bass in the track. Then you got the mid frequencies, takes out the mids. So all you're hearing now is bass and the treble. And then you got the treble. You can hear the mids and the bass. Anyway, we have the timing going. So we're at 128 at the moment. And as you can see, the other jog wheel, deck B is slow, but we know already it's out of time because it's the same song, and this pitch fader is closer to the slower tempo side, and this one is in the middle. So we know already that it's gotta be in the middle because it's the same song, so you know already they're the same time. So anyway, the reason I'm showing you like this is because I want you to kind of get used to mixing first. Do you understand? Not really the timing. The timing will come after, but get used to using the volume faders. Get used to using the frequency faders. You see, to blend, to help you to mix in the track. And to me, the reason I mix like this, it's a lot easier for mixing purposes. You see, I don't say I mix like this all the time, because it depends in the heat of the moment and when you're mixing and you're going at it and everyone's loving your song. Sometimes you just want to drop a tune and you might just, fling the fader to that side. Do you see? Well, I won't mix like that, but boom, just drop the tunes right in. It all depends on the night. But generally, this is how I would start to mix, and I feel comfortable mixing like this. So anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to hit play on this track again. And I hope you got your headphones on. And again, we're going to find the cue point on deck B. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if it's too fast, you slow it down. And the way you slow it down, by dragging the jog wheel backwards. But don't press it too hard, because it will go around too far. The jog wheel is so delicate. If you press it too hard, it stops the track. As I said, it moves like a record player. But if you just gently, touch it, it slows down gently, or it will speed up faster. Anyway, let's press Q, go back to the start tune. Ready? Anyway, let's start back. I'm gonna go back from where it starts as, from the beginning. So anyway, let's go again. Press play on deck A. And then I want you to count. House music is 4 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see? And as you can hear in your headphones, if you just pressed it on time there, it's quite a mix going on in your headphones. So, you might need to speed up a bit. I know I need to. There you go, it should be in mix. And once you got it in mix, I just want you to practice, just take down the bass on deck B and slowly bring up your fader. You see? And if you take your headphones off, you should be hearing just, one sound, so sitting comfortably, mixing. You see, I wouldn't advise to mix at this stage. When another song is dropped out, wait till the drop out and the music comes back in, then you start mixing, you see. But anyway, let's go back to the beginning. So right, the tune's going off. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Go again, press play. Now, what I want you to practice is skipping from one deck to the other deck. And how we'll do this, we're actually gonna do this with the crossfader. So we're gonna move the crossfader to deck A, and then we're gonna push up the volume fader on deck B, and then we're literally gonna put back the bass line, and then we're just gonna fling the fader to the next deck, deck B. Now, if you're dancing, your rhythm shouldn't change. If you got a good mix, your rhythm don't change. A bad mix, you'll be dancing and you're thinking, wow, why do I feel like I can't dance to the music no more? You see, that's because either a massive tempo change or, a DJ just clammed up a mix and it's just all sounding erratic and it's just messed up your whole flow and your whole vibe. Do you see? So, dance with it. Dancing also helps when you're mixing with tempos and getting the tempo and the timing right. Do you see? But just don't get too carried away when you're dancing and you're mixing, because sometimes it's happened to me in the past. You can literally go dance too much, and you're in the next, you're listening to the one thing and the crowd's listening to another thing, and yeah, you mess up a couple mixes. So always kind of stay focused, you see, and know that you actually are mixing. So anyway, that was me showing you how to go from deck A to deck B, you see. So now I'm going to show you my way of doing it. So as I say, crossfader in the middle, press play on deck A. Right, so what I do now, ready? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, press play. Alright, I pressed it a bit too quick then, so I need to slow it down. Alright, and then what I'll do, I take out the bass straight away because I don't want 2 kick drums playing at the same time. But you know, sometimes take down the frequencies a bit more on the mids and the treble. Sounds a bit cleaner, you see. But if I take down the treble now in deck A, and I bring up my deck B treble, it don't affect, you know, the sound a bit. Sounds nice, you see. And then what I can also do is take down the mids and bring up the mids in my one here. You see? See the mix? You've already got a mix going on there, look. You see? And then if I bring up the bass, now take out the bass down here. Well, you're starting to climb now. What, you see? I wonder if you heard, it's not deck A playing no more. Deck A is gone. Look, no music. I've already gone to deck B. But that's all by just using the effects faders. Anyway, let's go back to the beginning. Turn up there, master gain again. Right, now I want to show you about what is a clammed up mix, because I know I'm saying it and I'm not showing it. So what I mean by a clammed up mix and the mix when it's out of mix. Here I go. Listen to this. Oh, sorry. Let's go again. See the mistake I just done? I forgot I was controlling it by the frequency faders. You see? So you need to always be aware of how you're controlling each deck and each mix. It matters. Anyway. Right, let me show you a messed up mix and how it sounds. Ready? Mind your ears. Now that is a clammed up, that is not mixing, it's all over the place. You would not want that to play a DJ like that at your part of your event, you see. And as I showed, that's exactly the same tune, you see, playing at exactly the same tempo. But if you can't mix, you just can't mix, and it will clam up, and you can tell, no matter what, even if it's the same song. So, you know, it's all about your timing when you're mixing, how you're blending in the track, and, well, when you're not playing the same songs, obviously you don't want to be out there playing the same song back to back, but what tunes you are selecting is what makes the DJ. Another important thing I'm going to tell you about is the effects pads. And I have to apologize because I've been calling these effects faders, but they're frequency controllers basically. But I get my word mixed up sometimes. But, you know, allow me, please forgive me. So anyway, let's play the track on deck A, and I'm going to show you, well, right now, on this pad, there's a low pass filter. On pad 2, there's an echo, and on pad 3, there's a reverb. And as I say, these controls, you know, they adjust the intensity of the effect. Right, so let's show you. Let's get these up, let's get the frequencies up. Anyway, so here we go. Well, low pass filter was just on. So here we go. Low pass filter. I know you've heard this effect if you've been raving before. Then you can bring it back out just by tapping it. But then the mix should go back to the beginning. And then you just get a bit of reverb going. But when you're doing reverb, make sure you turn down the bass a bit. You see, and watch the intensity you bring in it. And then let's go with what's echo. You see, and then you can do two at once if you want. It's a bit of echo and reverb. And then make it sound all cinematic. You see, I know you've heard these sort of drops on mixy, D's and in the club. You see it? Tap out when you want to come out of it. But that's too much. So I'm going to take that down. So what I might do is do that. You see, there's always ways to bring a different track, you know. You know, low pass filter. Bring it back in. You see, there's many different ways, but as I say, you'll find your own flair and individuality when you're mixing, man. So right, now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to perform a mix for you. I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of how I control my controller when I'm mixing. As I say to you, every way is different. You see, all the time it's different, so I say. It all depends on what track comes in and how I want to, bring in the next track. But this is a common way of the way I do it. So I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration of what I do, how I'm going to bring it in and stuff, using the frequency channel controllers, a few of the effects. Yeah, and that's it. So have a good look at how I'm using the effects. Listen to how I'm using the effects and have a look at, what my hands are actually doing, where they're touching, you see. So yeah, anyway, here we go. See, as you can hear, I'm just holding the mix now. And let's play with other tunes in. Let's go. And I didn't even use a lot of FX EQs on that. You see, I just gave it a quick little echo, took off the bass, took down the treble in the mids, and just gave it a quick rewind and come again, you know, on the deck A, flang it out with the volume, go. At this stage, I feel that what I shown you, you can start, and then once you know, give it a few weeks, you know, spend, I don't know, say half an hour minimum, you know, either every day if you've got the time, every other day, but whichever way you're gonna do it. If you're learning how to DJ and literally how to DJ, you should try to, you know, get in at least 2 to 3 practices a week, do you see, just to keep it consistent, do you see, and the more you practice, the better you get, you know. But at this stage, just play around with the effects and how to, you know, transition from one song to the other. And then once you feel comfortable, you know, start to think about recording the mix. Why that is important? Because that's going to show you, once you listen back to the mix you're doing, to the mix you're doing at that present stage of where you are, and you listen back to your mix, you'll be able to kind of be your own judge, you know, and say, oh, am I ready or am I not? And where can I make improvements? You see, and a lot of softwares, on so a lot of DJ, there's a record button. It's so simple. You just press record and you're ready to go. But yeah, record, I don't know, 30 minutes minimum recording mixes, listen back to them, and the better you get, the longer the mixes, you see, and hopefully you get to your hour mix, your 2-hour mixes, your 3-hour mixes if you're going to go that hard, depending on how many songs you got. But then yeah, you should be ready to go.